right, everybody, what's going on? It's Corey Spielberg here, and today we have another episode of BergTv. It's a special episode. We have Mark here with Elite Custom Wraps of West Orange County. Mark, say hello to everybody.
Hey, everybody, how's it going out there?
That's the intro we need. We are gonna do some bill paying first. We are actually, today's show is sponsored by you. We're in your warehouse where you wrap all your cars and all your goodies. Elite Custom Wrap, West Orange County. We are in Ocoee.
That's right.
Right here in the city beautiful. And shout out to Oxford Cigar Company. That's what we're smoking on right now. Is that good stuff brought to you by him. All right, Mark. So we kind of gave the premise that you do you wrap cars. So tell us, we're gonna do a little bit of stuff here. So tell us who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Okay.
And you can go back to original Elite with the parties, all that stuff. Go ahead and give us a basic rundown.
So you want to know how I started this company? Is that what you want?
Yeah. Well, how'd you start this company?
Okay. Let's see. During the pandemic, I was bored, sitting on that couch back there, smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Looking at my trailer that was sitting in here, and I said, you know what? Those are stickers on there. I wonder how they do that stuff. So I started YouTubing, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Maybe I can do that stuff. And then I called one of my buddies, and I said, hey, man, did you ever wrap a car? And he goes, yeah, I used to do that way back in the beginning when they first came out. And I was like, hey, come on over. Let's talk about this. Kevin and I sat down. We smoked a cigar. We started rapping about it. And the next thing you know, we said, okay, where do we get the wrap from? We had no idea where to get it. So then we just started researching different kind of wrap companies. Went ahead and called them. And next thing you know, ordered some wrap. And we started wrapping cars out of boredom.
So you started wrapping cars out of boredom due to the pandemic.
Correct.
So what did you do before the car wrapping? And then we'll get back into the car wrapping. Is that important? Do you want to talk about what you did?
Nah, I mean, I just own several businesses. So, and due to the pandemic, a lot of the things that I did in the past in my businesses was not available to do because you couldn't have social gatherings.
Right.
So that's the reason why I was sitting here trying to figure out what I'm going to do because I was bored because I've always been busy my whole life working in businesses, my own businesses.
So, long story short, entrepreneur mind set in again.
Right.
You were bored as all hell.
Right.
And you said, I got to do something.
I said, frick it.
Frick it.
Let's take the risk and let's just do it. So, yeah, the rest is history.
So, you started this early pandemic or middle pandemic?
Let me see. Would have been in 2020. I started in December.
Okay.
So it's funny when you first start doing the wraps, your friends start hearing about it, and they're like, "Oh man, can we get our car wrapped? How much are you gonna charge me?" And I had no idea what to charge people. And I said, "Okay, you know what? Let's just go with the cost of what it's gonna be for the wrap, the rolls of wrap, and then we'll wrap them for labor for free." And then I was like, after I did about 4 or 5 of those, I was like, holy shit, this is looking pretty cool. Right. And I started getting some people that are interested in it that weren't my friends and said, hey, man, we saw your wrap you did over there. Why don't you do our wrap? And I was like, okay, cool. So then we decided, okay, let's start wrapping cars for profit. And then we started charging people for labor. And then Kevin and I got so busy that I started hiring people. And it was kind of cool because, again, that's a very young industry. So I had a bunch of what I would consider young kids meaning in their 20s, coming and asking me if they wanted to rap with me because they heard some pretty cool stuff about us. And the vibe in the shop is very cool too. I call it the feng shui of the shop. So it's very relaxed. You have fun. If you don't have fun, you don't need to be working with us. So and next thing you know, I started getting all these rap guys coming in, and then I had guys coming in who would tear down cars because in order to do a wrap properly, you got to completely tear down the car. And what I mean by that is, think of it as an erector set where you just push a button, the car just falls apart. Yeah. So you got to take out bumpers, tires, aerials, headlights, tail lights, emblems, door handles, trunk locks. Basically, taking out everything because you need to really tuck the wrap properly in those void areas, so the wrap doesn't lift and it lasts up to 6 to 10 years, depending on how you take care of your car.
I didn't actually know wraps lasted for that long. So wraps are a cool thing, and another cool thing that I was looking into was plasti dipping. People are plasti dipping whole entire cars, which I thought was pretty fucking cool as well. Ever heard about that?
Yeah, we started plastic dipping, experimenting with it when folks wanted to get their rims done because they wanted to totally black out their car.
Right.
So at that point, I didn't know, what else to do. So we said, okay, let's try plastic dip. Of course, you YouTubed it and you figured it out and you just started doing that. But what we noticed with the plastic dip, it doesn't last a long time. You take one scratch on it, or you take it to the car wash, or you wash it yourself and it starts peeling off. So then
You had to rub right off.
you rub right off. So then I was like, oh crap, I got to find somehow to get this to be permanent. And then I found out, searched a vendor here locally who does powder coating. So that's a more permanent application, as you all know, than plastic dip, and it comes out so much better, and it lasts a long time.
So long story short, what Mark is saying right now is he doesn't take no cheap options, no cheap routes. When you come to Mark, you're gonna get a quality job, and it's gonna last years.
Yeah, because there's a lot of wraps out there that are what I would not call the top brands, and we're not going to wrap cars like that because, in all my businesses I always use the best of everything, and that's the way I look at this is, it's a passion. It's not really a business, and everybody that's involved with it is all very passionate about it too. These young kids, like, it's amazing. It blows my mind that how good these guys are. They're like artists. It's amazing what they can do with this wrap. I thought you'd had to glue it on, and if you go to our Instagram account, you'll see, we did a Lambo truck.
Oh, yep.
Everybody says it's a truck. If you go look on our Instagram, you can see how, a different wrap company actually glued the wrap onto the vehicle. And these wraps have adhesive on the back of them. You don't need to glue that stuff. And if you're going to use any kind of glue, you would use a promoter, it's called, from 3M, and you would use that on the inside parts of the car, not on the outside parts of the car. And the reason why you would do that is because, with water and moisture and, the elements in the world that we have today, that it would make the adhesive on the wrap stick harder onto the vehicle. But that's what you put underneath the vehicle, meaning around the corners, underneath the places where you don't see. Well, this company, they put it everywhere and pretty much
Screwed the car up,
screwed
right?
the car. Yeah,
Yeah.
Just look at RIG and you'll see.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that I saw wrapped here. Well, being unwrapped actually was that Lamborghini Yaris or whatever the hell it's called, but the street term is the Lamb truck. That's the first thing I saw, and the glue was everywhere. It was almost impossible to take off.
Yeah.
It's just, it ruined, really. It's a great way to ruin, a $500,000 car.
Yeah, basically.
So one thing you also do, so you wrap the cars and you do window tinting.
Yeah, we also do window tinting too. And again, with window tinting, there's 100 different companies that do provide the film for window tinting. And then I narrowed it down to 2. And then we did 2 vehicles, my personal vehicles, and then I picked one out of that. And so we use global tint film. It's ceramic. We also have the regular tint on there, but I always say, everybody, you got to do ceramic. And the beauty thing about ceramic is I could always remember coming back from the beach, my windows would be tinted, my car looked badass, and I roll up the windows thinking, oh man, I'm gonna be cool. I'm not gonna be burning anymore. But you know how you feel like the sun's burning you even through your tint?
Yep.
That's because of the old tint technology. Well, with this ceramic stuff, you don't feel that, which is cool. The heat will still get into the vehicle, but you block basically all the UV rays and everything from damaging the interior of your car and also burning your skin. And the best way I can say is if you're sunburned coming from the beach or the pool area, whatever, laying out in the sun, you can see what I'm talking about. And then also we do the windshields too, with a very, very light tint that's legal. And that also stops your car from getting damaged from the sun on the top of your deck. You know how you see the cracks and everything on the older vehicles? Well, this eliminates all those cracks happening because it keeps the UV rays out.
Right. So with that also, so when you mean wrap cars too, so you actually do corporate stuff for fleet vehicles,
Correct.
stuff like that. So somebody wants to come in and get their whatever business they have a fleet of trucks or a fleet of cars. You'll wrap that entire fleet, right?
Correct. So what we do is we meet with the client, myself and the graphic designer. We talk about what vehicle it is. We get their ideas, and then we give them a couple of what we interpret their vision is on a template of that vehicle, what the wrap will look like. And it's pretty cool. And then, we do 3 or 4 revisions, and then we get it done. And then we wrap their vehicles. So if you ever see, like these lawn care trailers or trucks going around that are full wraps, food trucks, we do a lot of food trucks. We do a lot of, the semi trucks that are going around. And what's really cool about it is, instead of spending, thousands of dollars on a billboard and only a certain amount of people are going to see this, every day you go out, the average is 20,000 people are going to see your vehicle. So it's definitely a return on your investment.
Yeah. 20,000 views every day, all day.
Every single day.
Already doing your business. The wrap pays for itself.
Yeah. And a perfect example is, my vehicles are both wrapped with the company with unique wraps on it. And I can't tell you how many. I mean, I only have 4 Taurus and a H2 Hummer, and I constantly getting people coming up to me saying, "Hey, man, that's pretty cool. Where do you get it wrapped?" And I said, "Hey, it's my company right there. Just go for it."
Yeah, that's me. What do you need?
What do you need? What do you need? We'll take care of it. Anything from the tinting to the powder coating the rims to painting the calipers to wrapping it whatever you want. And if you want a commercial wrap, you can do a commercial wrap. And, I always tell everybody says, "Well, what color can I do?" And I say, well, think of it as like you're going to Home Depot or Lowe's. You go to the paint section. You see all those different colors of paints that you can get. That's basically how wraps are now. There's thousands of different colors.
So with the wrap, something that you were explaining to me before, there's different levels, I should say. So some wraps are cheap. Some wraps are, when I say wraps, I mean rolls of the wrap that you're going to get for your car. You can get basic, and then there's really high-end stuff, like on your Hummer and your Taurus. That's high-end quality stuff right there. Yeah. Some reflective, the cool camo. So talk about, ranges of wraps, prices of wraps, good quality, bad quality, whatever.
Well, it all depends on, we only use the top-of-line wraps, and, I have, and that's all we're going to wrap, because I want you to come back as a customer, and also, people are going to see your vehicle, and it's a reflection on my company. So, and it's not just me, it's a team of people that actually do it, and I want them to be proud of what they do also. So we use, like 3M, we use Orfol, we use KPMF, we use, a couple other different name manufacturers of wraps. And then that's pretty much it.
That's it for as far as, the products and stuff that you use.
Yeah.
What?
We also do on wraps now. The technology is where you can put on, everybody's talking about ceramic coatings.
Yeah.
You can also put ceramic coatings now on top of wraps too. And then also what we're doing with XPEL is the PPF, which is a paint protection. That's a clear, double the thickness of vinyl wrap that you put on a car. And now it's coming out where it's also has a color to it too. So there's 2 different options that you have there. And basically what that does is that protects like the front of your car from stones and love bugs and all that crap that shoots up on your car. It protects your paint of your vehicle, and that's a lifetime warranty on that stuff. Yeah,
I pulled up here one day, and you did it to a Tesla.
Yes.
Somebody brought their brand new nice Tesla.
Yeah, it had 68 miles on it when it came in here.
Fresh off the lot.
Fresh off the lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also did the ceramic tint on it too, because what the customer noticed was when he was driving it that the I guess I don't know much about Teslas. They has a internal cooling, I guess, because of the Florida sun, so it was getting really hot in there. And then when he came in for his PPF, I was like, we were talking. He says, "Man, how can you help me with this heat in this thing? Because it has it's all glass on top and glass everywhere." And I said, "Well, let's do ceramic." I said to him, "Listen, if you don't like it, just tell me, and you don't have to pay for it." Within 24 hours, a guy came back and he was like, "Holy crap, what a difference. My extra AC doesn't kick in, and I can't believe how cool it is inside my car."
Ceramics,
ceramic's the way to go. And that's ceramic tint or ceramic film.
Ceramic film.
Right.
So what is the coolest thing that you have wrapped so far?
oh my God, every single project is cool because
Well, let me rephrase the question then. What? Because I was trying to get you to say, what do you wrap? What boats and shit like that? What's the extent that you can wrap?
Oh yeah, we can wrap anything from your typical daily car all the way up to airplanes. I mean, we've done all those. And it's hard to just say which wrap was really the best one because they all were so unique in their way. And I'll go back to my Taurus. My Taurus is a boring car. It was what was it, gloss black, and then we wrapped it in matte black, and then you start seeing all these cool little curvatures and angles and different things that you don't realize that your vehicle has, and it's really cool. And sometimes we get people. We did one of my favorite projects is a 87 Corvette that we did. Gentleman brought it in, and his best friend just passed away and left him this Corvette that was in the barn for like 20 years. And he wanted to paint it, but he didn't want to paint it because he didn't want to take away the original sanding and all the preparation that his buddy did before he passed away. So he brought it over here, and I said, well, let's just wrap the thing. So what we did is we wrapped that vehicle, and if you look at our Instagram, you'll see the project, how it came into us after being in the barn for 20 years and coming to us like being prepared to be wrapped or painted. But we went ahead and did it in the like fire engine red with black stripes on it.
So in order to preserve kind of what his
buddy did
he
was starting to do. So if he ever, wants to, he can always peel that wrap up. But the car looks like it just got freshly painted. It's amazing.
Okay, so that went a kind of a sentimental route, right? He was just like, yo, I don't want to, I can't, it's my buddy.
Right.
So that was a nice thing.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very cool.
And that has a story behind that.
Yeah, and we all, everybody in the shop took it kind of like personally because, there was a story to this car. It was a really cool story, and we all like, wow, man, we're really getting into this. We're part of this. And the project actually came out better than I thought.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you help preserve his friend's legacy to him, as far as that car goes.
Right.
So that's a cool.
So, we've done other cars. We've done Lamborghinis, we've done Rolls Royces, we've done, Ferraris, we've done VW Bugs. I mean, we've done it all. So it's there's a plethora, I guess you would say, of vehicles.
Plethora
of vehicles, yeah.
So what if somebody were to come in here with an RV? So tell them about the RV you just did.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's another great story. In Florida, it's hot as hell always.
Always hot.
So this RV that this guy just purchased, matter of fact, we just finished it. It's sitting outside right now. He's like, man, it's so damn hot in here. And you know what? I always feel like, even though it's got shades in here, I feel like everybody's looking inside and looking at all my stuff. And I really don't like that. And I said, you know what, dude? Let's tint the windows in ceramic and let's see what happens. So we went ahead and tinted it. And I'll be damned, man. That trailer is cool. Cool looking and cool inside.
Cool looking, cool inside.
Cool inside. And then I said, you know what? I said, let's look outside and see if we can see in during the daytime. And it looked like a rock and roll bus because you can't even see inside. But when from the outside, you can't see inside.
Oh, it's pitch black. When pitch black. I walked around, it's pitch black.
Yeah, it's pitch black.
But when you're inside, it's
beautiful
outside.
Yeah, you can see outside. And what I also noticed about this, the film that we put on there is it seemed to make the sky look clearer or the outside look clearer to me. I don't know. Did you notice that at all? It was kind of bizarre.
Sometimes
it's like putting sunglasses
like
on
HD or something. Yeah, it makes
like
life more HD than what it is.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing. Have you done any like jet skis, stuff like that?
Yeah, we've also done jet skis before, and jet skis are a unique kind of a project because the speed of them going onto the water. So you got to be very particular on when you put on the wrap, and that's where we'd use like the extra primer or adhesive to hold the wrap on. But also with a lot of the jet skis, they have all this rubber where you stand on or sit on and all that, so you have to remove all that stuff. But when you remove it, you can't apply it back on again. So we basically have to buy the new I don't know what you call it, skid plates and all that stuff, basically from the jet ski shop. and then we rewrap it, and boom, it's done.
So the water, the way you guys do it, there is a water, quote unquote, good enough water wrap.
Yeah, wraps are the normal vinyl wraps are pretty good for the water, but you just have to pay a little extra attention to how you put it onto the actual watercraft, and that includes boats too. So you use special sealers and special tapes, clear tapes, double stick tapes, to keep the water from getting underneath the wrap and lifting.
Yeah, because I was always curious about that. It's like, how does a wrap stay good on the water? But I guess there's a thing for everything.
Yeah, but if anybody tells you to wrap below the water line, don't do it, because you're wasting your money. I mean, I won't do it, and I hope to God no other wrap shop would do it, because think about it, when you run up on the beach or put it on a trailer, it's all going to get scuffed up real quick, and that isn't the whole intent. And plus, the bottom of the boat sometimes could be not as smooth as the top of the boat, because they already put some different kind of paints on it, or that's just the way that the process of building that vehicle.
Right. Yeah. You showed me. You had a boat in here that when you did the boat, and I asked, one of the things I asked, I was like, "Why did you do the whole thing?" And you're like, "That's the water line." And I said, "Oh, so where the boat sits," and you're like, "Yeah." So there's no point. You're not gonna see it. You're only gonna see it out of the water.
Right. And with that boat, I don't know if you noticed it, we had to take it to sand it and prep the surface, because the wrap was on there so long that there was no way to get it off. So you basically have to sand the wrap off. And that goes into a lot of, these commercial guys who get their vehicles done. They leave it, it's out in the sun, and 8 years later they're coming to us and say, "Hey, can you rewrap this?" I said, "Yeah, sure, but guess what? We're gonna have to sand your whole vehicle down, because the wrap is all cracking, and it's basically become a permanent surface onto your vehicle." But we can handle that too.
Long story short, keep your wraps up to date.
Keep your wraps up to date. Yeah, exactly.
It's your business. Your business is your.
You're right.
That wrap, like, for me, because I'm a digital guy, that I do a lot of the digital stuff. For me, I like to say, and I think this can go for your business too. Like, I like to say, your website is the quote unquote floor mat of your business. You want it to be nice, pristine, and always looking sharp. And if you get a wrap for your company vehicle, your fleet, that's another quote unquote doormat to your business.
Exactly.
It's represents you, and
20,000 people are going to see that thing.
Well, and also, as far as if I see a company pull up, they do the two exact same things. One company comes up with a beautiful wrap. One company comes up with a garbage. It's old, crusty, whatever. I'm off the top of my head, because I'm human. I'm gonna go, well, that other company's kind of probably better,
right?
Because I keep up with their stuff.
Exactly.
It may not be true, but again, floor mat of the business.
It's all about perception.
Keep it clean.
It's the perception. And that brings us to another thing too. Is we work on appointments basically only, because we, meaning I and the rest of the crew, we believe in giving our customers 100% attention. And also, we're not going to be backed up where we're going to take 100 wraps. Because everybody's vehicle is their second biggest investment they're going to make in their life. So we always make sure that the vehicle.
What's the first? The home?
Their home. Yeah,
home
usually.
is a big, yeah.
Or it could be their wife.
That's a big wife, home, car.
Right. So we make sure that we have room inside the warehouse, inside the shop, that we keep all our vehicles locked indoors, 24/7 while they're in our custody. I guess you could say, they won't be left outside. And also inside our shop, we have several air filters, and also it's climate control, because the last thing you want to do underneath your tint or your window film or your wrap is to have any kind of contaminants underneath it, meaning dust or whatever that's floating around in the air, to get underneath that, because all that stuff will show up. And you'll be coming back to me and saying, "Oh no, look at this," and I'm like, "Oh boy." So I invested in those filtration systems to make sure that none of that stuff be flying around here, and it's a closed environment, which is important.
Well, that's another thing that makes your business and what you do quality, right? So that's another thing. Mark is always about that quality, which is good, which is why you would want to take your car, your vehicle, boat, whatever, to you. Now, another thing that you're doing right now, which I think is interesting,
Besides sitting with you.
Besides sitting with me, you're building a custom freaking sign for
Yeah.
somebody's business, right?
Correct.
Talk about that?
Well, that's funny that you say that because we were wrapping for commercial companies, and this kind of evolved. And they said, "Hey, can you make our signs?" And I was looking at it, I was like, "Sure, we'll make it," not knowing a thing about it.
Right.
To be honest with you, I mean, I'm not gonna pull anybody's leg or anything. I said, "Sure, we'll be doing it." Well, there I go again, back on YouTube, searching on how it's made. I'm going, holy cow, this is a serious project. So I went out and I found the guys that can actually custom build these signs. And when I'm saying the signs, I'm talking about the lit signs that are on the buildings of restaurants, department stores, anything that you see going down the road that's got the lighting behind it. And it's really kind of an art form because you just don't buy them pre-made. Every single one of them is custom made. And then you got to deal with, permitting because, if you don't get the proper permitting, the county or city can come up to you and say, hey, you know what? You didn't get a permit for that. You're either going to get fined or you take that thing down. And next thing you know, you're calling that sign company that put that up there without a permit to take it down again. We'd just rather do it right from the beginning.
Yeah. So, and it's funny again because that's just another it's another entrepreneurial tick that you had. And you're like, screw it, I can do it. Yeah, absolutely. So, people, there's no excuses to why you can't do anything in your life. This guy obviously is trucking along, right there in life. Every time he takes a turn, he's like, I can do it. I can make money off that.
Yeah, but you also, it's funny being a business owner most of my life. You look back, on your life and what you could have, would have, and should have. And to be honest with you, there's nothing like being your own business. My mentor, who when I first started my first business, said to me, he goes, "I'm going to tell you something, and you'll understand this." And I said to him, I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, owning your own business, you're going to work 5 years harder than anybody else, so you don't have to work the rest of your life like everybody else. And I'll be damned. In my first business, after 5 years, I look back and I was like, holy shit, this guy was right. Because you kick ass for the first 5 years to build your business. And then after that 5th year, you'll start noticing you have more and more free time to do what you enjoy in life. Smoking a cigar, hanging out with buddies, and keeping an eye on the ball with your business still, keeping your eye on the ball for your business still, but you have the ability to hire people to run your businesses for you. It's pretty cool.
And now you're supporting families.
Right.
You're making this American economy tick.
Yeah. And that's very satisfying as a business owner when you see, these young kids that come in here and wrap cars and they're pulling up with a brand new badass car. And they're like, man, I couldn't have got this without this job. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but your success is my success. So, that makes me feel good that you've done that. Or I had one guy come up to me and says, man, I was able to buy a house. And I was like, no kidding. I said, that's pretty cool. So, that's really the satisfaction of owning your own business. It's not about the money. It's not about the freedom. It's about, what you can do for other people.
Yeah. And I think that's, one of a great quality about you as knowing you for a couple years is now it's
couple years,
many years actually, since I was a freaking child. You've always been fair. Talking to other employees from your other businesses and stuff that you've done, you've always been a fair guy, paid fair wages, fair work. Great work environment. Nobody has ever talked poorly on your name that I know of. And I think that shows the type of person you are.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so
it's nice to hear.
Yeah, giving you your
giving my kudos now, right?
Your kudos where it's due, though.
Oh, thank you.
Something where it's due. But I think we can kind of start wrapping this up. Is there anything like a closing statement or something you want to say to kind of end us out here?
Well, if
it's a weird, tough question, but it's nice if you have that.
Again, if you have a dream, just do it. It's don't use the excuse you don't have enough money, you don't have enough time, you don't have don't give excuses for it, because if you're going to start a business, it has to be a passion, because it's not work. It's what you wake up to do. I used to drive my kids to school every day, just to back up a little bit, and I would look at these families dropping off all their kids at the car line at the school.
Yep.
And the dads and the moms are all like white knuckles, squeezing on that steering wheel, and didn't even turn around and say, have a great day, kids. I love you. I'll pick you up, after school, or if you need anything, call me. And my daughter said to me one day, she goes, "Dad, how come you always do all that kind of stuff? Meaning, you say you love us, and you're not rushing us out of the car and pushing us out the door so you could speed off to work and all that stuff." And I said, "Well, that's because your dad owns his own business, and
he's not miserable.
I'm not miserable.
Right.
I'm not working for the man. I'm working for the man, which is yourself. So
you are the man.
So it's owning your own business is not for everybody. I understand that, but if you have the opportunity, if you have a passion, just go for it. The worst thing that could happen is that it didn't work. But I guarantee you, if it's your passion, it's gonna work, and you're gonna see it after 5 years. You're gonna be like, holy shit, I remember that guy on that podcast talking about this shit.
Right.
And then look at this. So there's plenty of people that work for me over the years that I've told them, they said, "I'm going to start my own business," and I said, "Congratulations, man, go for it. If you need anything, come back to me." And I'll be damned, a lot of them come back to me and say, "Man, that was the best decision I've ever made." It's just jumping off that cliff, falling, and as you're falling, you're building that jet airplane and you're flying that son of a bitch out.
I think that's one of the best closing statements we could have had.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I appreciate you for coming on and taking this time out to do this. And everybody out there is, on Instagram, we're going to put this out and have reels and clips and all a bunch of good stuff. Seeing it on my page, his page is Elite Custom Wraps, West Orange County.
Yep.
But on Instagram, just Elite Custom Wraps. He's out here in Ocoee. DM him. He can do it all. Tints, wraps,
commercial signs, custom print jobs. If not, we'll figure it out. And I'll be honest with you.
That's right. And that's his entrepreneurial spirit. So again, everybody, this was another great episode of BergTv. And again, Mark, thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.